members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody this morning? This is you could say, the laundry room edition. Uh, it is raining outside pretty bad. There's lightning, and I was debating whether I was going to make a video or not. So I decided to make it here in the laundry room. So I'm here sitting down in a rocking chair because we all rock, man. We're rockers and we rock. We're rockers and we rock. I hope everybody's doing good this morning. Uh, I want to say a shout out to the members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters on YouTube and those who follow my TikToks under HCS895, where I got short reels. I hope everybody is awake, or I know people are asleep or awake on the other side of the world. But I am here live on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. I just hear outside. It's raining hard. There's like lightning, and as you could hear rain through the door. So it sounds real loud outside right now. I said maybe there's some people who are going to be up, and maybe there's going to be some people that are not going to be up. So I'm still going to go with it. See who shows up early in the morning for all the night owls. Uh, Normally, I like doing my videos outside, but it's pouring pretty hard, and there's, like I said, lightning. So I'm just decided to do it here. I know yesterday I did two live streams, one in the morning, one in the evening, or early in the morning, then one in the morning. But I got I'm well rested right now. I can get a better look at me compared to just being outside. Can't see me that well. Uh, I want to send a shout out to the Paranormal Roundtable with Josh Turner, Nellie Turner, and the crew, where I do lives with them on Fridays. Uh, Check out Paranormal Table. They talk about all kinds of things. Also, they've been doing it for a while. They get stories from people, and they share the stories to their viewers. That's what they do. Uh, Also, shout out to all the other groups where they allow me to share my content. I want to say thank you. Yeah, it's starting to pour. I don't know if you can hear it through the background, but it's pouring outside. I hope it don't flood, because last time it was raining this hard, we got flooded. So it's kind of like I'm awake right now, just in case water tries to come in. If you hear a dog, it's my dog I got in the garage. He's right there by the door making that noise. I don't know who's here with me right now, but I want to talk about ghost operations, anything of spirit that's in disembodied form. You know, uh, what are the things that happen when there's operations like ghost operations that appear, disappear, the activity they can cause? Some of them are like to play games. Uh, I remember in the house I used to live, my light was always flickering, and sometimes the switch was turning on and off. And I would say to myself, just a short. But when they would manifest, you could literally see them, but they were translucent. That you could see what they were wearing. There's one thing: the garments that they're wearing, you could literally see what they're wearing. But when the operations the ghost will go through the like the barbed wire fence. It will go right through it. Uh, but you can still see the garments that we're wearing. Like I see one where it was a female with black hair was coming through the woods, and she had like a white dress, right? And she went right through the barbed wire and walked through a ravine in between the houses and passed right by my window. I could see her. She looked like she was in the flesh, but she wasn't. She was a ghost apparition. So I did a little bit of investigating. I went through where she came through the fence to see what's back there, because there was nothing but woods in the background. In the back of my house, there was a barbed wire fence, and there was a private property, which there was a big barn. So when we went to go investigate, how you doing, Marty? When we went to go investigate, we found a cemetery out back there, I guess um, uh, the family members of the ranch had their own little cemetery there. So I'm thinking it was a ghost of one of the graves that was back there. And that would make a lot of sense because of the activity we witnessed. Um, how you doing, Warlock? Um, there was a lot of strange activity at that house. Another activity that would happen is my nephews and nieces. They stayed up in the second floor, right? And they say that they were heard knocking on the window on the second floor, and it was pretty high, right? And they were here knocking, tapping on the window, but they were afraid to open the window, to look who was out there. Then one day they were hearing like tapping on the window, and when they opened the window, the curtain to look, it was a little boy and a little girl elevated in the air, telling them to come outside to play with them. They're like literally off the ground, and they came running from the upstairs to downstairs, all scared. They're like, "There's a boy and a girl. They want us to go outside." They were all scared. I went up there to look. There was nobody there, but it's kind of like how the bigger question would be, how would a ghost, right? Something that's deceased, we gain that much energy or power to be able to communicate with somebody like that, where they go have enough energy to tap in the window and try to get the children to come outside. Or kind of like the one that I noticed that you could tell it was a white dress. She had black hair, looked like a person, but when she went through the barbed wire fence, uh, she went right through it. Uh, it's kind of like that's pretty crazy when they have that enough energy to manifest not just their bodies, but to be able to see the color of their hair, the the garments that they're wearing, to be able to see that. They must have to generate some energy or pretty strong spirits. Well, it does exist there, Jose. Those things do exist. We're all spirits. When you die, I die. When we cross over, we're going to become spirits, just like anything else. Uh, any you got the good spirits. We do the good works, and of course, if a spirit that crosses over was a serial killer or a rapist or somebody that did something in that nature, they become evil spirits, unclean spirits. You hear it all the time, man, where the surface up or a house is being haunted by these spirits that used to reside there, especially like at prisons, where there's a lot of violence, a lot of deaths, and you got the spirits of the people that get killed in there. They still roam around the prisons. So It's not about watching. It's about going through something. Oh yeah, there's good people and there's evil people. It's just about how the person wants to be. But anyways, going to the activity that I would witness where I used to live in Killeen, Texas, I would hear a baby crying in the chimney. I seen the house get built on that land, like the foundation, the building from the ground up. But a lot of the activity that happened there was in that nature. There was like different elements, where I could hear a baby cry. I would witness this young girl where it looked like she had drowned because the way her face looked. She was wearing she looked native. The garments that she was wearing was like color brown, and now she had um, her face looked like she had drowned or something, or somebody choked her because she had her mouth open and her eyes were white and it looked like she was wet, like she had been drowned or she drowned in water. And that one was a malicious spirit because I remember seeing her in a dream, right? I witnessed her come in through the window, and I was asleep in the bed, and she went like this on my back, right, in the dream. Well, I woke up thinking, oh, it's just a dream. So I got up. I had company that weekend. My cousins were over visiting for the weekend, and they were playing cards in the kitchen. I went to go drink some water, and my cousin's like, "Hey, what happened to your back, cuz?" Like, what do you mean? He said, "You got a scratch all the way down your back." you know. So when I go look, I could see the scratch all the way down the center of my back, in which it was caused by that apparition or the ghost or whatever it was. If it was violent like that, I would say because maybe she died a violent death, or maybe it's a manifestation that she took. I don't know, but she didn't like men. Just put it that way, because she scratched the hell out of my back. It's a path that you choose, man. There's good people, there's evil people, and the evil people, they can blend in with the good, pretending to be people of goodness and all that. But when you're a do-gooder, you'll be able to see through the people if they're real or not, because you know when somebody's being truthful, and you know when somebody's lying with the Love Foundation. You can tell that. That one was that one. That one was. I still have nightmares of that home that I had bought. I had seen it. I was in the army, a sergeant, and I seen it get built and everything. Everybody was liking my home. I was like, "Hey man, let's go have a cookout and invite him, soldiers and stuff." Till all this crazy stuff started happening. My doorbell will ring. I'll go open the door, there nobody be there. As soon as I close the door, take 2 3 steps, it will ring again. I'll go open it. There's nobody out there. Uh, when I started asking people from the neighborhood if they have any strange activities, and a lot of people saying they did. That they have a lot of apparitions and ghosts appearing in their home, and the activity that I was having, like in my house, they were having at their homes too. So it was like the whole neighborhood was having activity in that nature. Uh, I did witness a an apparition, or should I say, it was there was a raccoon on my barbecue pit outside. I had one of those. My back door was a sliding door, right? So I was gonna go out there, and I seen a big raccoon on my barbecue pit. So I grabbed my camera or my cell phone, and took a picture, right, of the raccoon on my barbecue pit because I thought it was pretty cool. So when I went to go look at the picture, I was looking at the raccoon on the barbecue pit. Right behind the raccoon was a native spirit, like standing there behind the raccoon, and he was looking at me. Something that I couldn't see with a naked eye, I caught it on camera. When you hear about the skinwalkers and shapeshifters, I believe that's what that was. Normally they're right there. The spirit of the shapeshifter, skinwalker, is right there by the manifestation of the date. So I believe that the manifestation of the raccoon was actually a shapeshifter skinwalker because I caught it side by side. Like it was just there because that's what it manifested to. But back in those woods, man, this is the first home I ever bought in Killeen, Texas. There was one day that I was cooking out at nighttime. It was kind of late, and I was cooking out. Next thing you know, I hear somebody whistling from the woods, and they're like making a certain whistle that I recognize a whistle because I've heard it before. And as they're whistling, it's like they're trying to get my attention. Then I hear them laugh. So I hear them laugh, but I didn't. How should I give it power by the laugh that they did? So like strange events like that were happening at the house. The flickering of the lights. There's ghost like apparitions. My chimney, you could hear a baby crying in the chimney, in which I know it was in a haunted house because I seen it get built from the ground up. It was a brand new house, so I figured that it was the land that the land had ghost in the ghost. The land had ghost, or it was cursed in some kind of way, right? But there was a lot of activity there. There was one day when I was outside and I heard what seemed to be a eagle, right, in the backyard, and he was making a loud noise. And then it went from an eagle sound to what seemed to be like a sound of some kind of big cat, like a mountain lion. It made like some kind of weird noise like a cat. But then all of a sudden it made like three different noises all at once. And I was like, what the hell is that? And it sounded real loud. And then I heard like something with big wings, like it flew out of that area. And it's like the wings sounded, they were so big that they were loud when it flew. And the only thing I could think of that could have caused something like that would be either something demonic, or we see the statues sometimes where, like in the Mayans and the Aztecs, where have the statues of something that looks like a dragon, and then it's got the wings of the bird, and it's got different faces. Well, I believe those statues, what they really are, is because it's dealing with people want to call them the Napakulu, the what do they call them? There's another name for them, but I call them. I believe those statues, what that represents, were the ones that's got like a dragon, fish, a big, like the face of an eagle. I believe those represent, well, the Anunnaki. I believe that's what that represents, is the washers, because if you look into the washers had different manifestations where they can manifest to look like, there's one that looked like a bird, there's one that looked like a fish, there was one that looked reptilian, and then of course there was one that looked human, but he had the ability to shapeshift. And those watchers were the ones that were looking over mankind uh, when they decided to sleep with the women. The women they slept with, they became what we call sirens and harpies, right? Because they changed form when they slept with them, and they created the Nephilim. But all those statues that have different animals, I believe it has to do with that, some sort of shape shifting, where there's so many animals on that so many animals. Yes. So like you got the Incas, the Aztecas, the Mayans, uh, the Coahuilas, the different tribes of Mexico. The Egyptians wasn't the only one that had pyramids, right? There's different tribes all throughout the world, and I believe this shape of watchers. There were, I think they were call them what was the reward for him? They set them here on Earth to watch over mankind, but there was people because they had these powers, right? That they call them like wise men or something of that nature, right? But they were placed on Earth to watch over mankind. They went against God, but basically they're the ones that laid the foundation for the world. Uh, I believe that the Anunnaki guided the people to build those pyramids, and maybe they helped build those pyramids. And if you notice, there's already going against God, right? The Anunnaki watchers, Apakulu, they got many names, right? So as they have many names, they created all this. You had the pyramids and different pyramids that are built differently around the world, right? What they were doing those pyramids was blood sacrifices. They would they were doing it because they already disliked God, so they were deceiving the people, the elders, the kings or whatever, right? The elders, they were deceiving them, and they were making them do things against God because there were fallen angels also. They became fallen angels, uh, which they made the people do things against God all around the world, in which there was a lot of blood sacrifice. They would tell them you have to kill people in order for you to get a good crop. You have to kill 2,000, 3,000 people, and the elders were listening, and they'd be killing people, beheading them and stuff like that. But all along, what they were doing is just collecting souls, right? You see it in the cultures where they dress up like jaguars and like different animals that are in their region. No difference than the natives in America that the shaman used to dress in that way. They would dress up in their garments and put a face of a bull, with the horns, or a face of a horse. Different faces that they would look, because they got that from what taught them the witchcraft and the necromancy, which was the Watchers. They were demonic, in which the reason they were judged, they would see them every time they look different, because they can manifest into whatever they wanted to. And I believe because of that, generational curses happen. Also because of that, not just because of the Garden of Eden, but because of the things that they did, in which they were being promised certain things, but they had to take out certain people, take out people through blood sacrifices of worship. That's what they built those pig temples, because they had, I guess you could, the witchcraft and necromancy. So the people below them thought they had some godly power, right? But when they were killing their own people in that manner, they should have known right there by then, that hey, something ain't right with this, because if at first they were supposed to be God sent, right? They were looking over mankind, but then they placed themselves in a way where they're deceiving the people and making them kill people just to get a better crops, or for the weather to be a certain way, in which the crops is all natural. The crop's going to grow regardless, right? You just got to cultivate the. Whoa, hello. Well, I guess we're here in the dark for right now. I'm still in the live. I tell you, the weather's pretty bad. I guess I'm not supposed to be talking about this. Darkness right now, if whoever's still viewing. And I guess I'm going to continue to talk regardless. We lost all connection here, no power in our home because of the bad weather. So I guess somebody doesn't want me to talk about this, there we go. But I'm going to continue to talk about this. They didn't have the power to influence the weather, but they knew how the Heavenly Father works. They knew how the Heavenly Father works and how the Heavenly Father is the one that's in charge of Mother Nature itself. Scott, it's like they don't want me to talk about this. It's pitch dark here right now, but that's okay. I'm going to continue. So, basically, all this blood, right? It's kind of like that's why I don't go. I don't like going to locations in that nature, like where people go visit in these areas, like Egypt, where the pyramids are, uh, the pyramids in Mexico, the Mayans, and all that. I don't go to those areas sightseeing. Uh, Power keeps on going in on and on. Key, but it keeps on putting me out as much as I can. But this kind of activity normally happens when I go out there and investigate things like where my connection gives out and comes back on. Uh, that's what normally happens. But right now there's a bad thunderstorm, lightning that caused the power to go out here. So like I was saying before, I don't go to those areas like a sightseeing because of the things that have happened there, in which there will be the souls of those people that they sacrificed a long time ago in that area, in which there will be. Oh man, something definitely didn't want me to do the show tonight. So I'll try to stay here, but if it continues to boot me off, it keeps on going in and out, in and out. Look at that. It's going in and out constantly, brothers and sisters. I don't know what's causing that. Uh, but if you can hear my voice, give me a thumbs up or send a heart if y'all can hear me. Man, this weather is causing some kind of activity. Look at that. I never witnessed this kind of activity like this, where it's going in and out, in and out. Yeah, it keeps on going in and out, brothers. Um, but that's me personally. I don't go to none of these areas where like that because of what has happened there. There was negative acts that happened in which innocent people got killed in a way of sacrifice, right? That's why I don't go to those to anything like that. Uh, in Germany, when I was in Germany, uh, on here, the sisters, I can't see if anybody's leaving any comments or not. I'm trying to hang in there. Hopefully, the connection, is restored. It's like every time if there's lightning, the power shuts off. is might have to get off. Go out. Like some people they get scared of the dark. I use my sense and I'll sense when they're spirits. I'm still gonna brothers and sisters. So I'm here in the darkness. Pitch. This is not pitch dark because there's an Operation Desert Storm. There was so much smoke in the sky that you couldn't see with the naked eye. You had to use the of a dark. I know there's 5 people here. The thunderstorm that passed through knocked out my electricity. I'm gonna go around to see if the table. Okay, let's go check it out outside. All right, I'm still here. Okay. Let me see how bad it is. Okay. I guess I'll be doing this video in the dark, y'all. There's no power in the whole block. We lost power in the whole block. So in saying that, what must go on? I've seen these giant natives that had to be like, I'm talking about, to me there wasn't regular people, but I seen that I think they were demonic because of as tall as they were. There was one that I witnessed one time at nighttime. They had come to our house and went by the corner pole uh, that was by our fence line. It was there standing there and it was chanting something. And it's like when it's chanting something, it started like making different noises of animals. I believe it was one of those uh, spirits, or should I say, demons, like of the Apakolu, the Watchers, because it's real tall, and he had a lot of like a crown with a lot of feathers, and the face by itself looked demonic. He had like some kind of mask, but the height of it was like the height of, you could say, and when you talk about a giant, that's how big it was. Um, he kept on calling. He wanted the head of the household to come out because he kept on calling him out, which was my dad. I remember dad went out there and he had the Bible in his hand, and he was standing right like maybe 10 feet away from that, and he kept on telling him something. And my dad was trying to fight spiritually, but I didn't hear him pray, like try to fight him, say, I type every rebuke in Jesus Christ's name, or he was trying to make a spiritual stance of some sort against it. But after a while, I just seen it just disappear. My dad comes in the house and he's all pale from the face. And as he's pale from the face, my mom's trying to figure out what's going on, my mother. And he said, what did it want? That's how she said it. What did it want? She didn't say the name of a person or anything like that, right? And this is what my dad told her. He said that that apparition, or should I say manifestation, of what seemed to be like a giant of some sort, because it was pretty tall, like 10, 11. I know it was tall. That's all I know. And it was it was tall, like a giant, right? And he told him that he told him that he could have all the money in the world, but he had to do one thing. And my mother asked him, well, what is it that they told you you had to do. And she said, I have to kill my family, right? That's what it said. I have to kill my family for the for the promise of the money that was going to give to him, right? He had to kill all of us. Now, just by that itself, by it saying that to him, right there by itself, like I said before, I was talking about the Apakulu, the washers, Anunnaki. That's something they would say, because that's something that would say the kings will be the head of the tribe, right? So there's something the Anunnaki, and they're called, like there's more souls for them to try to collect from her like that, like a blood sacrifice. That's what that would be considered. Would be more like a blood sacrifice because of what they're, taking somebody's life in that manner, not just some one person's life, but like a whole family. But I've seen it. I've seen those how tall they are. That when people talk about giants, uh, the manifestations that they take, they're pretty tall. A pole is pretty big. So if I were to measure that pole where I seen it at, it had to be some manifestations that can take. Well, thank you. How you doing, Giovanni? Alex Wright? Early this morning, I jumped on. I said, I don't know if there's going to be people or not now because we have no power. Forward. There was a bad storm that came through, out of power. I just want to say thank you all for tuning in, and maybe uh, when our powers are restored, I might make early morning video. But right now we have no electricity. The Wi is not working, so I'm just using my phone. But the power keeps on going in and out. I guess it didn't want me to talk about this tonight, brothers and sisters, because the weather just went crazy when I started talking about this. The Anunnaki, the Apakulu, and the washers. When I brought that into play, it's like everything went crazy outside. Every time there was a lightning flash in the sky, the power was going out every single time. And right now I have no power here. Uh, I've witnessed different translucent beings. When people talk about the movie Predator, how it goes in and out. Where I've seen something in that nature, but not with it going in and out. But I've seen a translucent being where you could see like it had eyes, but you could see the silhouette of how it looked. But it was translucent that you could see right through it. But it was there. I witnessed it two times. One was on top of a tree. In the picture, you could see something up there that looks like it has some kind of it's translucent, but you can see some kind of shape on it, on top of a tree. And then I witnessed some of those translucent beings on a bridge where to me they look like if there were some form of owl. It could have been uh how should I say it? The capabilities that something in nature has, which is demonic, is crazy, man. All of it was translucent. They would move to enter a person, like a person would be driving by. It would go through the window, go into the person, and then go out. When that was happening, it's kind of like the time was going real slow. It was going real slow. Like time was stopping in order for whatever was translucent to feed on the spirit of the people that were in the vehicles. Yeah, the storm is bad. There's another one coming. Now it's Texas. I went from talking about ghost. As soon as I started talking about the Anunnaki, the Apakulu, and the Watchers, everything went crazy. It's kind of like they don't want me to talk about them, but I'm gonna, speak in truth. A lot of people that know the witchcraft, necromancy, that's where it came from. They call them another name, another term for wise men. Can anybody? Does anybody know the other term for wise men? I'm thinking more of like an oracle, yeah, oracle. That's what they consider them because they knew they had come down from heaven, but when they went against God, they became demonic. But they were deceiving a lot of people. The slip with the women, and they created the Nephilim. But by then, they had all these pyramids, where they would worship them. They built them to worship them. The Apakalu, the Watchers, they wanted to get praise because they come from a higher place. I believe that's why they built that, and of course, if they're showing the people that are in charge that, well, they want to follow suit of what's being shown to them. Yeah, it's a certain name that they have, but well, they were here, or they were deceiving the people, making them uh, kill people, collecting souls. Yeah, they were like blood sacrifices. That's what they were. They were telling them kill 1,000 people, kill 2,000 people for the crops to grow. So there was a lot of spilled blood when they were here on Earth, in which now what's left of them is the disembodied demonic Nephilim, because they got sent somewhere else. The Apokolu, uh, the Washers, right? Because that's what they are. They got sent up and they're chained up right now. But what's roaming loose, yes, what's roaming loose that is amongst us is disembodied demonic Nephilim. People claim the Nephilim were coming out of the ground and all this stuff, but there's no proof. The only thing you see is the look IG, like they're made up. But I'm just here to tell you, destroyed by the great flood. But what was left of them was their spirits, whereas they're roaming earth as in disembodied form. We still have demonic powers because they're created by the Watchers, which they became fallen angels because they went against God. So what how they roam on earth is as demons and wish uh, they have the ability to possess. When they manifest, they can manifest to look like they used to look, like a giant. But it's just a manifestation because they don't have a vessel. Right? So they've been here for a very long time, since after the flood, when they became disembodied, and they're you could say very strategic. The capabilities are very strategic, but through Jesus Christ we can overcome them. Just like they got taken out before, the vessels got their bodies got taken out. Spiritually, we can fight against them because we're created through God under His image. You know, when they were Nephilim, they tried to destroy Earth and everything in division, and they're still doing the dirty deeds that we're doing then. Now look like a predator, like the movie Predator. Well, that's how kind of they are. People talk about, well, our government is Nike, which are the disembodied demonic Nephilim, because they're still here. Thank you, Warrior. These lines were having a competition of who could write the best story. Some reason one person wrote about the Nephilim that was captured out there. So all that became came from a story that the soldiers were having a competition of who could write the. And of course, that's how it became how it grew. No different than the when the people talk about the what was that? What was that? The tall guy with the suit, not the slim man. I can remember his name, but anyways, that's how that became. You just got to be careful, brothers and sisters, because there's a lot of people cashing a lie, and I can tell when something don't make no sense, or if a person has to take the time to look at their notes to speak about some experience that they're going to be able to just talk freely, just say what say the story. But there's a lot of people like that, man. But yes, I witnessed them. The Apkulu, Nosferatu, whatever you want to call them, or if they're called something else in Mexico, I witnessed them. They're demonic. They're demons, man. There's no ifs or buts about it. They're demonic in nature. They're demons. When they went against God, they became part of the fallen angels. They're demonic of nature. Yeah, we still have no power here. The whole block, the power went out. So I don't know when it's going to be restored. But in saying that, I'm thinking I might stop recording, and save the battery power on my phone just in case I need to use it. Uh, but I will make it up in the morning, brothers and sisters, when I have electricity and you're not staring at a a blank screen that looks dark. Let me see if you can see my fingers. See it? Now you can see some of the energy. I'm trying to put my finger there so y'all can see my finger, but you can't even see. There it is. Uh, yeah, it's crazy what just happened. I just want to say thank you for those that stuck here, even though you're just hearing a voice. We had a bad storm that came through with a ladder off in the whole block. We have no power right now. In saying that, I'm gonna let y'all go, and maybe I'll do a video in the morning when I do have the power to do the video. And I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in, and we just do a recap in the morning whenever I wake up, or I might wait till the evening time to get. But the weather and whatever else interfered here, it stopped my connection. I mean, I can still talk to y'all, but the video might be all kind of crazy because of the activity. But you might never know, brothers and sisters. Going in and out, in and out. That's when you capture the most activity. The woods, and I'm investigating, recording, and my phone keeps on giving, which is it's causing your phone to give out or it's glitch. Sometimes you hear people saying something. You might hear a little girl, a woman, a man, and just different things that happen all at once with your connection giving out. But in saying that, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Uh, the bad storm took out the power in our house, and I just want to say thank you. Evening. Good night, everybody.